Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Medico Voice. Today I am going to start irreversible cell injury. In my previous video I have discussed reversible cell injury and the type of adaptations. In this video I am starting irreversible cell injury. So first of all, what are the causes of irreversible cell injury? The causes of irreversible cellular injury is same as that of reversible cell injury. That is, first and most common cause is hypoxia, chemicals, physical trauma, electricity, radiations, autoimmune disorders, or infections may be either of bacterial, fungal, protozoal, or viral. Now come to pathogenesis of irreversible cell injury. Due to hypoxia or ischemia, there will be decrease in the synthesis of ATP because oxidative phosphorylation in the mitochondria is decreases, and finally there will be decrease in synthesis of ATP. Due to decrease in ATP synthesis, there will be decrease in the synthesis of membrane phospholipid, and this will lead to loss of membrane phospholipid and ultimately will lead to membrane damage. Second, what happened due to ischemia? There will be increase in cytosolic calcium ion inside the cell because the pump which is used for the removal out of the calcium from the cell require ATP, and here there is no formation of ATP. There is decreased synthesis of ATP due to hypoxia. So ultimately there will be increase in cytosolic calcium ion inside the cell, and this will lead to activation of phospholipase enzyme and activation of protease. Due to activation of phospholipase enzyme, there will be formation of lipid breakdown product because phospholipase break the phospholipid present inside the membrane of cell into fatty acid and lipid. This will also lead to membrane damage. And the second one, due to activation of protease, cytoskeletal injury will occur, and this will also lead to membrane damage. Thirdly, what happened due to ischemia? There will be formation of or release of toxic oxygen radicals like superoxide, hydroxide, hydrogen peroxide, and these all toxic product will lead to lipid peroxidation and DNA damage. Due to DNA damage and lipid peroxidation, there will ultimately membrane damage. So all these processes that I have discussed, either decrease in synthesis of membrane phospholipid, activation of phospholipase enzyme or protease enzyme, lipid peroxidation or DNA damage, these all will lead to ultimately the membrane damage of the cell. And due to the membrane damage of the cell, there will be liberation of intracellular enzymes. As there is liberation of intracellular enzymes, so certain nuclear changes that we observe in the cell in case of irreversible cell injury, and there may be death of the cell. So, and the last one, there will be activation of serum enzymes. Mark it here that in case of irreversible cell injury, cell death can occur, but not in case of reversible cell injury. In reversible cell injury, the cell still has the power to regain its normal properties. So, there will be no cell death in case of reversible cell injury. Now come to what are the changes in cell that occur after irreversible cell injury. First of all, myelin figures in large number. We have discussed earlier in my videos that how myelin figures are formed. Myelin figures are formed by the combination of calcium and lipid that is formed after the breakdown of phospholipid with the help of phospholipase enzyme. Myelin figures are formed. It is a concentric ring-like structure that is formed, and myelin figures are present both in reversible as well as irreversible cell injury, but their amount varies. In irreversible cell injury, there will be large number of myelin figures, and In mitochondria, there will be large number of amorphous density also in case of irreversible cell injury. Now come to what are the nuclear changes. This is most important and a specific feature of irreversible cell injury. What are the nuclear changes that we see in case of irreversible cell injury? It is pycnosis, karyorrhexis and karyolysis. Pycnosis means condensation of the cells. That means the cell, the nuclear material present inside the nucleus will condense itself into small one. Condense itself. Second is karyorrhexis, means fragmentation of the cell. That means the nucleus will fragment itself into the small fragments. And the third one is karyolysis, that means dissolution of the nucleus. And the fourth one is lysosomal enzyme release. Now see here, pycnosis and karyorrhexis can be present in apoptosis, but in case of necrosis there will be presence of all the three nuclear changes, that is pycnosis, karyorrhexis and karyolysis. Fifth changes that we observe is membrane rupture. In case of membrane rupture, there will be release of markers that present inside the blood, inside the cell. Due to rupture of the membrane, the content of the cell will come out of the cell, and the blood will contain now the content of cell. Take an example, after the death of cell, in case of any cell death, rupture of membrane will occur and the content of cell will come out in blood. In case of and in the blood, these contents refer to us as a marker of the various diseases. In case of myocardial infarction, troponin T, troponin I, creatinine kinase, myoglobin are present inside the blood, and these all will indicate the death of heart cell that we observe in case of myocardial infarction. In case of any liver disease, the death of hepatic cell will occur, and this will lead to the release of alpha fetoprotein, SGPT and SGOT inside the blood, and these all markers will show any kind of liver deformity, liver disease in the person. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share and subscribe it if you like it, and in my next video I am going to discuss apoptosis and necrosis. So stay tuned. Thank you.